Hello there, dear listeners. It is I, Communications Officer Doug Eiffel, broadcasting from the USS Hephaestus station orbiting Red Dwarf star Wolf 359. I am delighted today to report that station activities include none other than our resident doctor, bringing you a homage to the beauty of natural sciences. Remember, Doc, I have that hard drive. You know, the one with all your precious research?
How could
And
I forget?
it would be a real shame if it fell out the airlock or underneath my hammer. You know the drill, Doc. Let's make with the space volcanoes, and I'll see you on the other side. Dougie boy, over and out.
I should have terminated him when I had the opportunity. Now I live in this hell where he has leverage over me. Very well. The only way out is through. Hello, people of Earth. My name is Dr. Alexander Hilbert, as far as you need to know. And today is a day for not any type of science, but a special type of science. A science show. I hope you're happy, Officer Eiffel. Without further ado, today we are going to use this science kit that was sent from Earth somehow. I don't understand how Doug has done this, but we are going to do a science experiment live from 7.8 light years from Earth. Shall we begin? We shall begin. Not looking forward to this in one bit. Okay, let us see. Yes. Now I understand what he means by space volcano. Oh, Lord. This is going to be a long day. Let us see what is in this box. Looks as if we have a mold, another piece of red plastic, whatever this is. I don't understand. I hope there are some sort of instructions. Let us see here. Joke's on you, Doug. I am now rich man. The bar of gold. I think it is fake. Okay. Let us start at the beginning with the booklet of instructions. Ah, I see. We will not be growing crystals. I am specifically to be volcano sciencing. You will need plaster of Paris. I believe this is duly labeled. It does not say plaster of Paris, but I think the photograph says everything that needs saying. Eruption powder A and B. I see. We have the eruption powders. Oh no, my decima. Good thing it is not the aerosolized version. Okay. Paints and brush set. I believe that is what this is. That is very, very underwhelming. Stir stick, yes, that is in there. And yes, this is the volcano mold. Okay. I believe that everything else in this box is no longer necessary. And then there are easy to follow step-by-step instructions that we will take one at a time. Okay. Now then. I will have to vent this out of airlock later. Okay. So. Let's see here. Instructions for assembling your volcano. Caution. Science project like this one can get messy. So prepare your workstation by putting down newspapers. Do I have anything like a newspaper? Alas, I will just have to get messy. Okay. Oh, no. Let me reach over here. Very good. Always be prepared in your laboratory. I can put this down here for now. So step 1. Oh, be careful of getting plaster in eyes, nose, or mouth. What are you making me do, Officer Eiffel? Okay, so arrange the 3 volcano mold walls. Step 1, we take this and this. We can put our powder here. Okay, we have the 3. And we must place like so. Okay. These go together. And then we are supposed to stretch included rubber band around exterior of mold and place within each notch. Oh boy. Is this working? This rudimentary technology is actually quite ingenious. Okay, is that going to work? I have a feeling this is going to leak quite badly. No doubt that was part of our dear communications officer's plan. Okay, so the step 3 now. We have assembled the mold. Step 3 clearly states to pour entire contents of the volcano we take this volcano ingredients and we pour it into, I see, a mixing bowl, into which we must add 1 cup of water. I see. Okay, good thing we have everything we need in laboratory. Okay. One mixing bowl. And a very convenient and very scientific mixing spatula. Okay, and then we must measure water. Okay. We are nearly there. Oh boy. I do not get paid enough for this. Next step is to take... Oh, it looks like hair got in the water. We cannot have a hairy volcano. Not even out of spite. I see. It is time to do some mixing. Oh boy. That's not ripping. This is why it is important to have a knife at all times. Seriously, just 1 cup of water? Okay. Oh no. The dust is getting everywhere. It is already in my eyes, nose, and mouth. Ugh. This terrible, terrible torture. Why do you do this to me, Communications Officer Eiffel? Are we supposed to use all of this mess? Ugh. I have created advanced retrovirus, but it has never been this unpleasant to make a thing as this. Are we supposed to use whole thing? I believe we are, but it is good to add little at a time. You can always add more. You can never take away. Oh, it is getting sludgy now. It has consistency of my babushka's favorite snack. Dairy porridge. Oh, I don't like it. There is so much more. This bag is like endless bag. Come now. Empty yourself. Very good. Oh no. Ugh. It is like even more unappetizing cottage cheese. It smells like expired whiteout. Okay, I think we are approaching the desired consistency. Oh, Lord. This is very unpleasant. Okay. Tell me we can do this. Let us see here. Ugh. I believe it is now time for the moment of truth. Ah, yes, it is pourable. Great. Perhaps we will be able to survive this day after all. Ugh, so gross. This is so much more uncomfortable than medical malpractice for me. Oh, Lord, it is leaking out of sides, just as I suspected. Okay. Okay. And now we wait. Let's sit for 30 to 45 minutes. Okay then. I will wash off my hands and then, per the directive that I have consented to under duress, let the record state, I now have some therapy questions from the Earthside viewership that I am supposed to answer. Please give me 1 moment to clean this filth off of my fingers. Oh. It is very sticky. Oh. It reminds me of pollen of specimen 34. Oh. It's everywhere. Ugh. I'm going to be cleaning this off for days. Okay. Let us retrieve the questions for therapy. Oh boy. Please note, I am not a mental health care provider. Why the word therapy was used must be some sort of sick joke of Douglas Eiffel's. Okay, question number 1 is from Willow in Edinburgh, Scotland. Question: how do I deal with wide spectrum of emotions that comes from watching all 3 Back to Future movies in one sitting? Your first mistake was distracting yourself from the inevitable mortality of human existence with such thing as popular entertainment film. Beyond that, I believe the answer is a large quantity of ice cream. Ideally Neapolitan in single pint. Okay, next question we have from Will K. I have timer set for volcano drying. Vilke from Virginia in United States. I have terrible crush on very intelligent Russian scientist who shall remain unnamed, and I am not sure what I should do about it. Any advice? You are being crushed? What is crush? Terrible crush sounds like much pressure. The best way to relieve pressure is to introduce opposite reaction pressure, or to increase volume if it is gaseous. I hope this has been helpful. I don't understand terrible crush idiom. Oh, this is very much leaking. Do you see the leaks out the sides? Oh no, it is on my fingers again. Ugh, I must leave alone. I think I am getting hang of this therapy thing. Question 3. Jillian S. from Missouri, United States. Question, this is a multiple part question, which I don't know. I guess that was allowed. First, the question, best and worst items on space station's menu. Second question, how long does one do surgery in space without all the blood and stuff floating away? Your second question is very, very interesting to me. The first question is irrelevant because I am purely subsisting off of base protein rations that are basically manufactured from algae. Nutrition is distraction from work. Not interested in nutrition, aside from the utility of it. However, when it comes to cutting open subjects and dealing with blood in space, this is quite an interesting and solvable problem. Basically, you can imagine if you are ever in laboratory on Earth working with dangerous gases, you have a hood. It's you put in your hands, there are gloves, and you work with what is inside of the box. And that way the gas don't get out, you can still work. It is much the same way with surgery in outer space, except you put the body of the patient inside of a very large hood, so that all blood and these liquids stay within a confined space, which has vacuums. Now, if you want to freestyle it, you can make do with portable vacuum cleaner. It is not a clean job, but you can get it done. Emma A. from Minnesota. Hey Doc, I seem to be tired and worn out all the time. What is your advice for finding the energy to get things done within a day? Well, that depends on your tolerance to stimulant drugs. If you are insensitive, you must up the dose. If you are allergic, then you must find other means. I recommend very scary predatory animal being released at random intervals during your workday to keep you alert. The only other advice I have for you, Emma, is to find motivation in something larger than yourself. Something that makes you want to show any god, if there is such a thing as God, who is the real boss. That's right. Basically, a life's work helps one live as much as it is also... You understand. It's a good motivation to have something that you wake up for in the morning. And it helps if it defies all natural laws. I see Kate B. here, from Boston, in Massachusetts, United States, asks, oh, this device. I believe that the plaster on my fingers is making the touch screen not work quite as well as one would hope. Kate B. wants to know, every time I see cactus, I feel overwhelming urge to touch it, and then I do, and then I usually regret. What should I do, Dr. Hilbert? Well, you have a couple of options in this situation. One, sounds like the problem where a child, you see the fire, you don't understand the fire, you touch the fire, you burn. Usually that teaches the child to not touch the fire. It sounds like you have opposite problem where you touch and then you see again and you go, hey, I know this will hurt, but hey, YOLO, or whatever it is that you say to yourself to justify. Now, there are multiple types of cactus. My recommendation is that you use some form of behavior modification to not touch the fuzzy. The fuzzy one is very bad to touch. It gets everywhere and you cannot deal. However, the sharp, pointy, those are safe to touch so long as you don't cram your finger down. You cram it down, it will puncture your skin. However, because it is more thorny and not the fuzzy, it won't get everywhere. So you can touch those very gently. So you can have your cake and not fuck up your hands too. You understand this mixed metaphor. So this is one solution. Another solution is you've heard of exposure therapy. This is where if you have the fear of spiders, you put on a virtual reality helmet and you expose yourself slowly to fake spiders and then eventually to real spiders, and you start across the room and you come closer and closer and eventually you dispel your fear. You must do opposite. This is where you attach electrodes to sensitive parts of body, and when you see the cactus, you shock yourself. And you repeat this process, and you increase the shock as you increase the proximity. Eventually, your body will develop a natural response to run very quickly away from any cactus that you see. These are my two alternative treatments for you. I recommend you start with only touch the sharp and avoid the fuzzy at whatever means necessary. And if this does not work, if you still find yourself pressing the fuzzy, you must immediately seek electroshock rehabilitation. If I was on Earth, I would provide, but as you see, I am trapped. Okay. The next question from India, not the country, from the person named India from Madison, Wisconsin. When I was kid, they always told me I supposed to be genius, but I grew up to be entirely average. What can I do to overcome the overwhelming dread of failure and disappointment? Is there more to this question? Oh no, that is end of question. It's a good question. Unfortunately, in modern culture, the fad is to tell all the children they are the genius and that they are the special. In reality, statistically, this is impossible, because the way statistics works is to be special, you must be not like most people, and so telling most people that they are special is very bad. It sets people up for just this situation later in life. That said, what is reason to be disappointed? If most human beings accomplish nothing, then you are par for course of being successful human, because that is by definition what most of us are, is insignificant and unaccomplished. Now, here is the rub. You may not have genetic makeup for genius, but are you willing to put in the work, to be disciplined? This is where we separate the not genius wheat from the not genius chaff. Hard work can make up for many an IQ points depending on the profession. Unfortunately, for advanced virology, you need both. So definitely do not try to compete with me. However, if you are looking to succeed on, say, social media or internet, I think the world remains your oyster. Okay, this is not a name. The star flipped to blue is not a name. But I will answer your question all the same, from Utah. I am getting overwhelmed easily, and I feel really isolated. Any tips? Well, step one is to define what you mean by overwhelmed. I find that many people say that they are overwhelmed, but when asked, what is it that you are overwhelmed by, they shrug like the little photo textual character on most modern devices that go like this. And they don't have clear answer, except to say, huh, or I don't know, or everything, or you know, and it's not specific. My first advice to you is to be very specific. And this is where one person that I once knew, Samuel Lambert, was a professional at this one thing that will improve your mental health immensely. Writing lists. Lists are key to understanding the specificity of what ails you. When you have a clear list of what you are overwhelmed by, you can start to separate items into different categories. One category is things you can do nothing about. This may include existential dread. This may include political global affairs. There are all sorts of things as human beings that we can do, as the technical term, jack shit about. However, you will find quickly that there are also things that you can do something about. Now, when you look at those two lists, you can throw away the one that you can't do shit about, or use it for your stand-up routine, or whatever it is you want to do with that piece of content. Now, you can focus on the one of the list of what you can do, and maybe you should, how do you say? And I am not very good at this, but you can be gentle with yourself. It feels wrong to say, but it is something that you can do, where you can look at this list of things you can do and start small. Yes, go day by day and focus on fundamental habits that will slowly make things a little easier. I find that making sure you are getting a sufficient and regular rest, getting an adequate nutritional input and hydration, as well as watching your media diet and staying away from too much negativity, is critical for maintaining maximum mental efficiency and efficacy. Now, as far as isolation goes, this sounds ideal for productivity and for lack of assholery, as my current situation demonstrates. I am not isolated enough. I am jealous of your situation. We should trade. Next question. Let's see here. Sarah R. from Texas, USA. Yeehaw. I'm really lonely right now, but get very stressed when I try to spend time around people because of pandemic. Oh, it sounds like there is some sort of pandemical situation back on planet Earth. virtual gatherings only help so much. Is there a good way to stay? Oh, the question gets cut off because of stay connected that is not so stressful. I see. Well, this sounds like a tricky situation. Because on the one hand, you are lonely, so you want company. But then you find yourself getting stressed when you try to spend time around people because of violently communicable disease that may cause side effects, including death. Then virtual gatherings are not quite the thing. This is a difficult situation. One that I think may not have an easy answer. Now, not being able to speak with you about your specifics, I would rattle off a few possibilities off the top of my head. One, if you do not have access to pet shelter for fostering of warm, fuzzy creature, then that is not an option. But if it is an option, it is something to look into as far as getting some social, physical contact that is safe in pandemic situation without need for stressful human interaction. I see. Other possible solutions to consider the people that are nearest to you and to find if there is somebody in your similar situation that you can create some kind of pact with, or perhaps a pod to be able to make regular social visitations, either at their place of residence or yours, or somewhere in the middle that is outside and less likely to spread viral contagion. You see, I am expert on virus. So yes, these are possibilities. The other thing that you can do is find a way to sleep for many years until pandemic is over. I believe it is called cryogenics. I'm not sure that it legally exists on Earth yet in way that we can, bring back on other side. So you may want to avoid that last one until such time as it won't kill you. Okay, this next question looks very serious. Lee W. from Los Angeles, California wants to know, why did I shit my pants? And I can only assume that it is because you reside in Los Angeles, California. Next question. Bronwyn Erb from Toronto wants to know, this is Canada. So, is it normal to have a literal escape route from normal interactions, like diving through a window escape route? Why is it terrifying to walk into a room of people I vaguely know? It's elementary, my dear Bronwyn. This is evolutionary in nature. We, as human beings, began in small tribes, and it was in these small social settings. There was no question of who you would meet that is new. You come across new people, they are enemy. Unless they are for sex, they are for war. This is how we began as a species. You understand? Now, as far as jumping out windows, this is only problem if you are on higher than first floor or if there is no fire escape outside the window, because death is not typically the better of the options than facing the strangers. Although, again, the instinct is perfectly natural. I highly recommend that you invest in personal protection equipment, but you must use training, because if you do not know how to handle the weapon, it can become a liability in a situation where you would need it most. Now, This is why I recommend personal defense class for everybody, which obviously is a long, arduous journey that cannot be a quick fix. It's nothing you can solve with pill. However, if you are looking for pills, there are many pills. They all come with trade-offs. I find that the side effects list is often comical for the benefits, but they do exist, and they can help in extreme situations especially. You must consult physician for this. I think I have answered this question sufficiently, and it is quite similar to earlier question, so you can also look into fluffy pet, procurement. Okay. Oh, it's getting hard. It's not perfectly dry, but it is sure close. I think we have another 10 to 20 minutes before it will be ready for, I guess, rubbing and painting. Oy, oy, oy. I think we're not going to paint, because it requires multiple days for painting. We will do our best. Multiple days. No, Sir Eiffel. Not even I. Not even for my research. Okay. Next question is from Orpheus C. California. My roommate keeps performing seances to banish a ghost that may or may not be haunting our apartment. The ghost may or may not be my fault. How do I get her to stop? Oh. Well, one, if your ghost can be banished by a seance, he isn't a very good ghost, is he, or she, or they? I'm just saying, most ghosts that I summon are very, very seance resistant. Easy come, very hard to go. You understand? Now, if you did not communicate with roommate about bringing ghost in first place, you might have wanted to give heads up. I think that at this point, what you may want to do is get rid of any of your roommate's lamb's blood or whatever they're using to create the pentagram for the seance that they are doing. If they don't have materials, they can't bring the magic, can they? So, standard operating procedure of subterfuge and, what is it called, where you ruin the chance of the person doing the thing. I should know this. Sabotage. That's the one. Sabotage. Not really a therapy question. Griffin M. from Huntington. I'm not sure what WV stands for, but it is not the car. I eat whole bananas. Peel and all. My friends think it's unhealthy. Is there anything poisonous about the banana peel? Yes, social stigma. What are you doing, buddy? That is strange, if I ever heard strange. I mean, I'm strange, I should know. Hey, if it makes you happy, you do you. You know what they say. Judas Spooky has a question from Loco, Texas. Wants to know, do I like cats? If so, what would you name one? You seem like a cat person. What I like most about cats is their independence. I can abide a cat in a way that I could not a dog, because dogs are too needy. They take up too much time. I would say, if I were to have a cat, I would perhaps name it after some of my favorite elements from the table of elements. Neon the cat sounds like a very lovely name, does it not? Almost as good as Xenon the cat. Oh, I must remember to clone myself a cat and call it Xenon. Okay, let's see here. This is getting close, everybody. Oh, this is such a mess. Uh-oh. I must not get ahead of myself and wreck it prematurely. Okay. This next question comes from Van Sneeze in Iceland. My teeth keep turning blue and sort of fang-like. Is that supposed to happen? Well, the fang-like is interesting. I have encountered a condition where one will begin to file their teeth down into sharp little points, either to be like vampire or to appeal to a certain gothic demographic. I'm not sure about the blue. Have you been having many of the ring pops or other such confections that might turn your mouth this color? I would be concerned, if not, where the pigmentation is coming from. You should seek immediate psychiatric as well as physical care. This is the best advice that I have for you. One sneeze. Okay, Joel, I will answer your question from Berlin after this sip of water. It is very important to stay hydrated. And this dust from this crazy volcano bullshit has already gotten into my lungs. Oh boy. Cheers, everybody. I definitely got some plaster in that one. Okay. Whew. Let's see here. Judas from Berlin. Joel from Berlin. I bought too many plants during lockdown. Oh, it sounds like a bad pandemic. Hang in there, everybody. And I want more plants. Is that okay, doctor? Oh, I don't know if this is just from my own personal experience, but I would go to a neurologist, especially one particularly experienced in parasitical organisms, to make sure that the plants aren't using you. This is a very dangerous situation. If not, I guess as many as you can fit is okay. They do create more oxygen. So, don't break the bank, but first make sure that you are not a puppet of the plants. Indrid J. from Oregon, USA. Not a problem, but a question. Is it possible to breed spiders to be able to survive in human lungs? I mean, if you have to ask, clearly you don't have the background to pull it off. This is like a maybe half-weekend project for qualified individuals. The only problem is to decide on whether you want the person to survive the spider. That is the big design question, because then size becomes an issue for the size of the spiders. And that's no laughing matter. You understand? Because laughing requires lung capacity, so if you have giant spider in lung, you can't laugh. It's funny. This is my sense of humor. Oh! The alarm has gone off. Jay Shepard, you'll have to wait a moment. Let's see here how this is doing. Perhaps we should let it sit for just a few more questions. It's still not entirely dry. Let's just give it a little bit longer. Ugh. Oh. Jay Shepard from Canada asks, I don't know if you've been briefed on the pandemic here on Earth. No, but I am hearing about it now. But everyone's isolating to help stop the spread. Only problem is it gets real lonely. Got any tips for beating the quarantine blues? Alternatively, any progress on working on the cure? Well, as I have previously discussed, isolation is my heaven, and so I have some empathy problems with this problem. That said, my tips for beating the quarantine blues is to embark on a history-altering mission that single-mindedly drives your every breath towards a goal that others have called insane, that have driven others mad, and this will be your only restitution for the brutal brevity of mortality, is knowing that you have beaten death itself. If that fails, you may want to look into getting a video game platform and or a pen pal. As far as working on a cure, if by cure you mean more dangerous virus, then yes, but don't tell anybody. I'm supposed to have stopped. Can't stop, won't stop. Simon S. from the UK wants to know, keep getting hiccups out of nowhere at most inconvenient of times. Like the most inconvenient. Please advise as to why this might be, or what I can do to prevent it. You are my only question. Cut off, let's see. Hope, dude. Also nice lab coat, thank you. I recently had it pressed. Hiccups out of nowhere at most inconvenient of times. Like the most inconvenient of times. So, in deposition for having unleashed deadly virus, or when you are holding weapon in firing line, or... Gosh, I'm having trouble imagining what would be worse. Giving dissertation? There are many an opportune time for hiccups. My favorite way was to genetically alter my own DNA so that I no longer have this reflex of hiccuping. If you are unable to resequence your own DNA, then you are limited to trying to scare yourself or hold your breath or other witch doctory that doesn't really work, but you do it anyway because there's nothing else to do but let it pass. But because we don't do well doing nothing, you should try holding your breath or getting someone to scare you. Maybe that will work for you. And if it does, don't question whether it's real or not. You're not hiccuping. Go on with your life. Okay. We will do 3 more questions before we look at our fiery creation here. Okay. Let us see here. Simon, we did. Luna K from Cape Canaveral. Ah, Canaveral. Roger that. I always want more pasta than I have access to. Oh, that's a problem. I cannot super empathize, as food does not interest me in a mouth pleasure sort of way. However, you are going to want to gain more access. And in true Italian fashion, you should read Machiavelli to acquire as much power over the prime exporter of the world's most renowned pasta. And until you are new emperor of Italy, I don't think you will have satisfaction. This is my vague understanding of your question. Okay. Second question. Edwin R. from Portland, Oregon. Can I take you out for a nice candlelit dinner? There's nothing about this that interests me, from nice to candlelit to dinner. If you want to sponsor more viral research, I will grab takeout one time. Means to an end is very important to me. Okay. Question the last before we look at our creation. Something off my chest from planet Earth. Hello, doctor. I am transgender. Would you perform my top surgery? That would be absolutely inadvisable. I think if you were to ask me for anything, it would be to create some sort of genetic therapy that would reverse transcriptase your DNA in such a way that it would, change your XY to XX or vice versa, depending on what your birth assignment sex is and what you are feeling dysphorically inclined towards. So that is, I am not very good with a scalpel for this sort of a thing. I think you are better off on Earth with qualified professionals. I am more of a butcher than an artist when it comes to anything aesthetic. Okay. This has been unlicensed therapy. Emphasis on the unlicensed. With none other than your very own Dr. Hilbert. Okay. Let's do this. I am very scared here. Oh boy. Only a little leakage. Oh my. Wow. It actually worked. I think we're supposed to use this stirring stick to remove any lines from the mold. Oh. So much mess. But it actually looks quite admirable, given the modicum of effort that has been put into this. Okay. Oh no. Go back on. Shit. We must try to fix it. I paint on water to try to adhere the clay to the clay. Let's pretend it stayed. Okay. Interesting. It is vaguely warm. Oh no, there is a hair in the volcano. It's a hairy volcano. Crap. Okay. Now it says we are supposed to wait 1 to 2 days before we paint. Or we can put it in oven for 1 to 2 hours. No, we cannot wait. We must move ahead. I must be finished with this so I can return to real work. Okay. Time to get reckless. I just need the paint. It does not instruct you on how to paint. I think we just have to eyeball it. Oh no, why you no work? All right, let's paint this sucker. Oh, very nice. It has been many years since I have done anything qualifying arts and crafts. Not only because the Russian school system did not approve of such things, but also because my interests were much more intellectually inclined towards hard science instead of this hobbyist nonsense. Although I have to admit, this is quite satisfying in a way I did not expect. Now let us mix with the black paint. Sort of a black-brown. I hope you're happy, Doug. My research will make it all worth it in the end. It kind of looks real. mostly looks like a rush paint job. But I must complete it. Every inch must be painted. I'm to follow the instructions as closely as possible. He didn't say anything about rushing steps. But I can't leave a bald spot. Even if I resent it, I am a completionist at heart. Oh, gosh. It's definitely going to take a number of days to clean my laboratory after this. But it would take me many more years to recreate the experimental research that is on those drives. Okay, and we have one more color that I think may be too late to do anything with, but let us try. I think it goes best right around the top. Oh gosh. It's an absolute mess. Oh, it is a masterpiece. A shitty masterpiece, but a masterpiece nonetheless. Okay, let me wash my hands of this. Paint. And let us see here what the next step is. Instructions for making your volcano erupt. This experiment might get messy, so you should do this on baking sheet or some old newspaper. Okay. I will use this. Okay. Like so. That is definitely not enough. I should move this cellular device somewhere else. Okay. Now, we see here. Consider wearing old clothes that might get dirty. Oh, I fell. Oh. Okay. So you thoroughly mix all of the powder A and B together and place 1 tablespoon of the eruption mixture into the top of the volcano. Well, we're going to have to eyeball it, folks. Jeez. Gradually pour 1 cup of water into the top of the volcano. That will not hold 1 cup. A little at a time, and stand back and watch volcano erupt. Okay. We have 1 cup of water. We have this mess. Oh, God. How could did we do this? Okay, so we mix all of these powders together. We can stir. Now, what on earth can be used to ballpark a tablespoon? Perhaps it is this much. Let's see. For science. I hate being blackmailed. Oh my goodness! It is a space volcano. That was vaguely underwhelming. But if we add more... Ah, there we go. It is so frothy and explosive. I best get my hard drive back after this. Look at that. Just like it says on the tin. Oh my. I have to admit, don't tell Eiffel, I'm kind of into this. Oh, watch it foam and explode. It is getting a little bit insane. My word. It's beautiful. If I do say so myself. Okay, we need more paper towels on this mess. Oh gosh. Oh my. What an absolutely beautiful mess this has been. My hands are covered in this disgusting mess. My God. Would you look at that? It really, really works.
Hey, Doc. No. No. Out here, behind you. Hey!
What are you doing out
Great work with the volcano. Looked super real.
This asshole.
I've always wanted to see a space volcano. Okay, you're almost
You have
out
it.
of your debt. You remember the last
What?
part we agreed to?
No?
That's right. You're gonna listen to my new song. You're gonna like it, I promise.
right.
It's about duality and stuff.
I
You like
sincerely
that kind of
doubt
thing.
that.
Are you ready?
No.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I hate that it's catchy. No, I will not enjoy this. Oh God. I didn't know Officer Eiffel made music. What is this? Why does my body feel this way? All moving.
What is the difference between the policeman and nuclear bomb?
I can think of several.
What is it that tells you your savior's authentic and not just a con?
Because he is me.
Where do you draw the line? How do you know what's cruel or kind? Where do you draw the line? How do you know what's cruel or kind?
Oh. I hate that I like it.
You know the most convincing lies are the ones we think are true.
No shit.
Now can you accept its make-believe that separates me from you? Where do you draw the line? How do you know what's cruel or kind? Where do you draw the line? How do you know what's cruel or kind?
Maybe he does understand me.
The most
Seems cruel.
dangerous rule
Can be kind if it's
is
for good
how
intentions.
love implies to. The most dangerous rule is how love implies to. The most dangerous rule
Hope he cannot see me.
is how love implies to.
I will deny it if he does.
The most dangerous rule is how love implies to. Where do you draw the line? How do you know what's cruel or kind? Where do you draw the line? How do you know what's cruel or kind?
Thank you, Hephaestus!
Oh, it's over?
My name is Doug Eiffel, and that
Thank
was
God.
Where Do You Draw the Line? This was fun. I should really threaten you more often, Hilbert. Fine.
Heaven
I'll
help you if
give
you
your
do.
Stupid drive back. I
Give
guess
me that
your
fucking
debt
drive.
is paid.
Thank
All
God.
right. I'm heading back into the station.
Doctor
Everybody,
out.
meet me in the comms room.
Whew! Hey there, everybody! Oh, man! Oh, that was fun! And how great was that volcano? Man, it's so great having the upper hand on the doctor. Jeez. Whew! Alrighty, everybody. It is lovely to be with you here for Self-Care Sunday! My name, if you don't know, is Douglas Eiffel, and we are aboard the USS Hephaestus station, orbiting red dwarf star, Wolf 359. And, I have a lot in store for us today. We obviously had the prime event, which was Space Volcanoes with Dr. Hilbert. Which was a messy delight, and reminds me to get as much leverage on that man as humanly possible without being killed. Easier said than done. Now, the one thing that I wanted to do today was answer questions, which I'm legally obligated to do. Oh my god! I was looking for that! Jeez! It sounds like there's a little bit of audio feedback. I'm not sure what that's about. I hope that fixed it. But anyway, here we are. I have a ton of questions, everybody. So many questions. It is a little bit intimidating, but I'm very excited. If anybody listened to our Spacesuits Itchy, that was my first court-mandated question session. With the Children of Earth, we've opened it up to a more general public. And I'm going to do my best to answer all of your questions. Starting with Gray Kilgore from London, England. Gray, hey there, out there in the UK. Where did you learn about communications equipment? And did you get a degree? So, that's a great question. I've had a lot of odd jobs in my time. And one of them was briefly, and by briefly I mean I don't think I actually ever made it on the road, but I did get through the paid training, which had unlimited coffee, for truck driving. And it was in that line of work that I had the delightful opportunity to get my hands on my first CB radio. And that was just a gateway drug. And the next thing you know, I went to vocational school. So I never got a degree as much as a certificate, but who's counting? And, I don't really think that my credentials were so much what my... or my resume were so much what Goddard Futuristics was looking for, so much as my warm body. Okay. Let's see here. Patrolicus the Fifth. Or no, V. Patrolicus V. From San Antonio, Texas. What do you like to do with your free time in space? Boy, I wish I had some. Do you have any books to read or music to listen to? People to bother, yes. You asked people to bother. The answer is everybody else that's not me. And sometimes me. And that kills a lot of time when there's downtime. And frankly, I wish there was more downtime because, my God, does it get boring here. But it's not like free time boring. It's like you're supposed to be listening for signs of extraterrestrial life, which means mostly listening to static without falling asleep, which is why I need stimulants, which is why algae coffee is part of my diet despite being disgusting. With the little free time that I have nearly worn out the Home Alone 2 VHS. It is no longer entertaining, mostly because I can do all the words. And unfortunately, there's not any music on the station as far as I'm aware. I mean, frankly, I haven't really tried to ask Hira if she can pull up a database of music. I think it's way, way, way too, what is it called? Bandwidth heavy for my rank and file for use on the Pulse Beacon Relay. And so, yeah, the closest thing to music I have are the broadcasts that I receive from possibly aliens. So there's that. Mostly I'm just bored. Let's see here. Matt N. from Ireland asks, what's one thing you'd hate to lose? One thing you'd hate to lose. Oh, I mean, I feel like I am in no small part defined by my pop culture references and really just my, encyclopedic knowledge of all things 1980s. I'd really hate to lose that. That would be awful. Who would I be without that? I don't know. Let's not even think about it. Jeez. Talk about existential terror. Connor R. from Ohio. Oh, hi. Oh. Hi, Ohio. What's the best part of being outside the solar system? Oh, man. You ever been in debt and gotten a lot of phone calls from the people that technically you owe money to? You know how to get out of them? Get away from them? Don't be on Earth. Pro tip. Enoch H. Jacksonville, Florida. Thoughts on communism? It sounds like communication. There's a bit of a homonym in there. I would say that I am a little bit underread on the matter. I do have some doubts based on the news that I consumed back on Earth that communism might lead to shared poverty across the board. And there's some thoughts about authoritarianism with what little I remember from what little I attended of the history classes that I was subjected to back as a young one. What with that mustache guy. Not the little one. Not the Hitler one. The other one. The Russian one. Anyway, I'm a little skeptical, but I'm also very underinformed and probably the last person you should ask anything political to. But that's just me. Dougie B. Oh, Dougie B? Dougie B for boy, because it would be Dougie E for Eiffel if I was doing the last name. Dylan B. That's where the B came. There we go. Kamloops, British Columbia. From Canada. What is your favorite part of the station and why? It can be an area or some technology. Everything Hira. That's right, sweetheart. I know who's my friend around here. Sarah K. from New York wants to know, does it hurt your eyes to look at the star? Good question. One way to find out. Yes. Yes, it does. Ow. Okay. Levi M. from Boone, North Carolina, USA wants to know, what's something on the station that is basically the same as Earth that you didn't expect to be so similar? I'm going to go internal with self-loathing. Self-loathing and guilt. Those don't change. Charlie K. from Oak Ridge, Tennessee wants to know, Eiffel, are you familiar with the concept of kinning? So, kin kin being where your family? Not sure I follow this one. I don't know kinning as a verb, but yeah, we're just going to move on because I don't really know what that means. Danny A. from Honolulu, Hawaii, wants to know, after you pee, where does it go? Shot out into space? Reworked into drinkable water? The people gotta know. Oh yeah, so unless there is something terribly wrong with the system, could be anything from regular routine maintenance. There are a number of reasons why we wouldn't recirculate it, but 9 times out of 10, we're trying to recapture that moisture because it is more valuable than gold out here. We need it to survive, and whether we're feeding it to the plants or, anything like that, you get the idea. We reuse that pee. Mordred K. from Estonia wants to know, what does seaweed coffee taste like? I must learn how to make it. Oh boy. Mordred, I can't stop you, but I do strongly recommend that you cease and desist this course of action. It tastes terrible. Imagine taking dirt and combining it with fish paste, and on top of that, you want to put a little bit of like old dog poo in it, like just those dried husks you find if you need to sweep your street clean after a long week of people not picking up that. Yeah, it's just really awful. And then crush up some caffeine pills, sprinkle it in there, put that all in a blender, bam. There you go. Don't do that. Don't drink that. Eat a Tide Pod first. What is a Tide Pod? I don't even know. Don't do that either. Just enjoy real coffee and enjoy it for the both of us. Oh boy. BVL from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, wants to know, when you feel as empty as the void of space, what do you do to feel whole? I talk, and then I talk, and then I talk some more, and I keep on talking until I don't know what I was talking about before I started talking. And then I usually go on my day in blissful ignorance of the gaping hole in my soul. Whether it's due to loneliness, existential angst, or deep past-related regret. I find noise is often the answer. Edwin R. from Portland, Oregon asks, do astronauts get days off? Ha ha ha! I've tried to argue that we do. According to my commanding officer, that is not a thing. Dinosaur Lover from far away asks, Eiffel, so like, you know how if you look at the Earth from the sun, you see Earth 8 minutes ago? Do you think if we get far enough, we get to see dinosaurs? And if yes, want to watch dinosaurs together, this is a brilliant theory. And I know what I am going to threaten Dr. Hilbert with before I give him back his drive for the last time, is to calculate this distance. And as soon as I figure out how to get there, I will let you know and meet you there, because that sounds dope. Luna K from Cape Canaveral asks, who on the Hephaestus would you most like to hug? Oh man, well, Hilbert burned that bridge a long time ago when he started shooting me up with a virus. But Loveless would probably kill me. Hera is incorporeal. Lord knows I've hugged the walls enough to try. I think the commander could use it the most, frankly. So I'm going to go with that. But it's going to be one of those awkward, like, butt hugs where you stick your butt back and, like, you're kind of just, like, patting shoulders like that. That's how I think that would go. Oh my God, Commander? Oh God! Oh no! Eiffel, what are you doing? Get back to work! Come on! I booked this afternoon for this. I have to answer these questions, otherwise my pension gets put into very, very bad things, like not my account. I'm already screwed enough for retirement as it is. I can't blow this, Minkowski. But you're right, I probably shouldn't be threatening our medical officer. But, I mean, come on. I needed a turn. All right, Ariel R. here from Australia wants to know, hi, Doug, how's the family? Well, that's an awkward question to just break out on anybody. I mean, God, I don't really know. I haven't been in touch with my daughter since I left Earth. That's just, I don't know. This is depressing. I'm just going to answer the next question. Oh, one sec. I see there's a chat here. Plant monster? No. That's impossible. They iced the plant monster months ago. The SI-5 did it when they got here. What do you mean the plant monster? What? That's so confusing. Wow, I guess there's a live chat here. If anybody has any live questions, please feel free to drop those in here, and we'll get those answered. I would be so psyched if the plant monster fucking survived that shit. I knew they couldn't kill Blessy that easily. Hera did help me make the song. Hera's real good at sick beats. And that question was from, oh man, this is going fast, this chat. I missed it. I'm sorry. I'll try to say the usernames. Maggie Schneider asks, does Kepler have a new bottle of scotch yet? Unfortunately, no. We've had other priorities taking place, much to his chagrin. And the algae equivalent that Dr. Hilbert whipped up was not well received. Juno asks, what is your favorite type of pizza? Well, I have two favorite types of pizza. One is for sweet tooth days. The other is for savory tooth days. Sweet tooth days would have to be pineapple. And then savory tooth days would have to be artichoke. That is my final thought on pizza. Shooting Star Neo. According to Dr. Hilbert, the answer is no. Everything can be made out of algae. ADI Animalef asks, do you have a favorite song? I mean, I feel like that David Bowie song, Starman waiting in the sky. I don't know all the words, unfortunately, but you'd think I would. But that has been what I've been like thinking since I came up to space. Before that, I'd have to say I can't really pick a favorite song, but there's a T-Rex album I really loved. It's just I don't have the most auditory memory, so it's sort of faded a lot since I got up here. Let's see here. Miso D, no. Oh yeah, do you like Queen? I love Queen. I want to break free. I want to break free. Were you able to bring? I was not able to bring any music into space, Nigel Kowal. If I had thought twice about it, and if iPods had been as readily available as I hear they are now, it'd be great to have that. Do you think the volcano Hilbert made is edible? Oof. I mean, isn't everything technically? I just wouldn't recommend it. All right, I'm going to do 3 more questions from the list that I had before we started streaming, and then 3 more questions from the chat. And then I'm going to sign off for now. But this has been a delightful Self-Care Sunday, everybody. And just such a joy to be with you all the way back on Earth. I'm so jealous that you get to be on Earth. It is, incredibly isolating and lonely up here. But that is just how it is. Let's see. Ariel R asks, oh no, we did that one. That was the depressing family question. Jessica M from Canada asks, do you ever get lonely up in space? And if so, what kind of things do you do to feel better? Okay, I sort of answered this. Lots of filling the vacuum of my loneliness with my own voice. That is critical. Also sleep. Sleep helps. And bugging the commander is super useful. I'll do a 4th question from this, just because that was somewhat similar. Sabrina C. asks, does Goddard Futuristics pay their taxes? Well, I'll tell you one thing. They don't pay ours. They pay us like fucking contractors. It's a gig job. We don't even get benefits from this crap. It's terrible. It's terrible, I tell you. So do they pay their taxes? I bet they have a huge loophole that lets them pay like $1 in taxes a year. I bet they don't pay any more taxes than they have to. And they've probably changed the laws to not have to pay any, knowing Goddard Futuristics. Terrible. Jazz G from San Ramon, California asks, if you could keep a pet on the Hephaestus, what kind of pet would it be, and what would you name it? Now, there's a couple of answers to this. There's some like silly dream pets. Like, I've always wanted a miniature elephant. I don't know if they exist, but like they have miniature horses. And so a miniature elephant sounds fucking awesome. Like, just big enough that I can ride it, but still small enough that it can fly on airplanes with me in the seat next to me. That would be the ideal pet. But in space, that seems impractical. So my second of 3 answers to this question is I once hallucinated this dog that was talking. And I've thought about that dog. It was like a golden retriever dog. Be cool to have. But yeah, I would say the last thing, the most practical space pet that I think I'd realistically want to deal with in this harsh environment is a chinchilla. Let's see here. Oh man. This is sort of embarrassing to answer knowing that she's listening, but how would I describe my relationship to Hira? Is the question. By Ifera. I see what you did there. From Utah. And I mean, how do I even put this into words succinctly? Is best friend enough? Confidant, playmate for when we get to do chess games on the computer. She's just a good, I can't say human, but person. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how I would stay sane without her, frankly. Don't let that get to your head, though. Still gonna beat you at chess one of these days. How could I? Come on. Me? All right. Let's go to the chat for the last 3 questions of today's. Okay, this is sort of Shooting Star Neo asks, Doug, thoughts on AI rights? And I feel like I've seen that a couple of times. Boop, 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 boop. I think they should have some. I mean, Hera is not a thing. She's a her. And I understand that there's like this weird phenomenon where it's like a corporation paid some inconceivable amount of money to create an instrument that worked for their business. And, you know, it's like before AIs, you would buy a computer or an automated system and like that's a business expense and you need it to like do what you're doing. And so it gets complicated when suddenly that thing that you invested in has rights, so you can't use it exactly the way you want to in some cases. So it's like, it's a real tricky thing, but like once you make something have its own preferences and like experience of pain and stuff, it just gets super, super messy. Like at what point is it just like a new sort of slavery situation? I really am for AI rights, and I realize it's a complicated issue that doesn't have any like obvious answers like straight off the bat. I just think that we need to get humans and AIs at the table and sort of hash this out. Like maybe there's like sort of I don't know. I feel too stupid to comment on this beyond that. All right, let's see here. Danny wants to know, Eiffel, what's your favorite flavor of toothpaste? And have you ever tried bacon toothpaste? Or those toothbrushes that play music when you brush? Okay, Danny, if I ever get back to Earth, when I get back to Earth, we're going to brush our teeth. Because that sounds dope. I've never heard of a music playing toothbrush. What the? Talk about cool shit. That sounds awesome. Favorite flavor? I am not ashamed to admit that I have finished more than one tube of Tom's strawberry banana toothpaste. That shit is delicious and additive free. So, you know, there's no harm. It's just candy. Let's see here. Last question for the day. I want to pick a good one because it's the last one. Let's see here. I don't know. Whoa! Holy shit! The plant monster lives! Blessy lives. We gotta keep this secret. Shit. This is amazing. Fuck. That's so cool. I had no idea. I knew that it couldn't be that easy, but they seemed so confident. Something fell into the star. Maybe some of it was Blessy, but clearly it wasn't all of her. It? They? I don't know. What about a goldfish and a little bubble of zero-gravity water instead of... Rebecca Bricker asks, what do you think of your memories? Well, it's hard to say. I don't really think about them that much, but since you ask, it's sort of like I am my memories. I mean, if I don't remember who I am, aren't I just somebody new? Sort of an existential question. What do I think about my memories? I don't know. That's pretty much it. What do you think? Why is everybody saying stop? Well, this has been Self-Care Sunday. I want to give a enormous shout out to all of the amazing people that funded the new audio fiction project by Long Story Short Productions. Obviously, I have no knowledge, being Doug Eiffel, of what these things or who these people are, but I'm just reading what I'm hired to read. Bless you all. Gabrielle Urbina, Sarah Shackett, and Zach Valenti were thrilled by the response of all of you outrageous audio fiction lovers for putting us well over the top of what we were shooting for, to allow the creation of multiple creative jobs in a really stressful time for creatives, and to put out a little bit of magic to a world that we felt could sorely use some, at least from our own experience. These live streams have been a lot of fun to do. I have spent the week... Anyway, not to break character too much, but you get the point. We're super grateful, and this has just been a delight. I'll be going live a little bit later this evening with one final stream. In character is Sam Lambert, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. What is that, like 3.5 hours from now? Anyway, enjoy. Without further ado... one last thing. If you love this background and all these things, I work with an incredible artist on Fiverr. His information is in the description if you're interested. If you want to check out Unseen, the audio fiction, the magical show that Gabrielle, Sarah, and I have been working on, you could check that out at unseen.show. If you want to support our collective work, there's some instructions on that website. If you want to support me as an independent creator here on YouTube and elsewhere around the internet, I have a personal Patreon at Zach Valenti. Shout out to all of y'all. And until next time, Officer Eiffel, signing off. Bye for now, everybody. Oh boy. Now I gotta find the button. There we go. There's the button.